is your loaf bigger than Joe Rogan? Is your loaf bigger than Joe Rogan? So we're going to get the graphic up there. This is what we have here. Our graphics team. All right, Tom? You okay? Our graphics team, burning the midnight oil. Like I said, we had a quick turnaround on this one. 1 week, we had to really, really get the graphics team, paying them overtime to get this up. What we have is Joe Rogan. And our question today is your loaf bigger than Joe Rogan?
We got the flavors that make you dance. Spicy tales from France to Japan. Every bite a wild romance. Join us now in our bright little den. Bruh, in the kitchen where stories are told. Spill the beans about dishes so bold. Every taste a journey unfold. Come with us, let the magic unfold.
Welcome, bruh. Podcast, BRUH, podcast.com. The boys are back in town, batten down the hatches. Let the women and children go home. How we doing, boys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
All right. We are live, feeling good, dying to get to Libation Station. I can tell you that.
Dude, I know I it was like a quick happy birthday. And how was your birthday last week?
Oh, man. You know what? That's coming up, Tone, in a new segment we call Life Lessons with Mike V. I'm going to talk about my birthday. So we're going to, if you don't mind waiting a little bit, I appreciate you asking. But
that wasn't planned. That was,
no.
Glad I asked.
No, I appreciate you asking. And no, I've got a little story from my birthday.
We're gonna have to stick around to the end for that one.
You have to stick for I'm learning about I'm trying to learn about how to get clicks and views in YouTube, and it seems like I'm watching Mr. Beast, and I'm watching all of the top people, and what they do is like they do this thing where it's like, we could die, like that's the way. So if we just say, hey, Mike's gonna die or something like that, or Tony's dying, then that's the title. And then
facial
you put
expressions.
Yeah, it's like, like that. But yeah, so that's the title of the podcast is Mike and Tony are gonna die, and then somehow we get up. So that's what I'm learning about. But no, that's coming up, Tone. That's Good. Coming up. Last time I brought up, we have Mike V, we have Tony B, and we have Rob. We need a nickname for Rob. This is a little surprise for Rob. Last time I threw out Robbie O, squashed it. All right.
Yeah.
So I got another one, Robbie, and I'm going to float it by you. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Roboto. What do you think? Yes or no?
I mean, I didn't think you could do worse than before.
Okay,
but
we're gonna keep trying, Rob.
You nailed it. Yeah, that's worse.
I went below. Okay, so Mr. Roboto is out. We got to come up with something. All right. So I like Rob. Rob, I love your name, Rob, but we need some sort of like.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like all the Mr. Beast guys they all have like a name, some sort of nickname, like Crazy Jack and Billy Pontoon or something like that. Like
Tony doesn't have a nickname.
He's Tony B.
That's not
He's
a
Tony
nickname.
B.
That's his name.
It's not. I don't want to say his last name. Like
I know, but that's
okay. But it's Rob P. So you're okay. I'm going to come up with a nickname next week. Not Rob P though, because it can't be Mike V, Tony B, Rob P. It has to be something like Robbie P.
Have you ever changed your there was a period when I was a kid and I was always Tony, but then I started getting called Tony Baloney. I'm kind of a chubby kid. And I started going, no, it's Anthony, which is my birth name. Yeah. It didn't stick like at all. And I preferred, Tony's cool. Did you guys ever change? Like Rob, were you ever Bob or? Roberts or
growing up,
Bobby?
I had coaches
Bobby,
that called me Bobby. Yeah, a lot of Bobby.
That's a lot. It's a big De Niro move. It's like Robert De Niro is, but his boys call him Bobby. So that might be it.
I grew up in Long Island. All my very cliche Italian coaches everyone would call me Bobby.
I didn't know you grew up in Long Island.
Yeah, man.
Strong Island in the house. Represent.
Yeah.
Why don't you get some of those Long Island contacts, get them on the show here? Because I'm sure they've got a lot of opinions out there in Strong Island.
Mean, I was like the most cliche, like Italian boy. My dad literally had a pizzeria that I would just like hang out in the back of. Full on
my dream.
This
dude.
is
Italian
new.
cliche.
What? This is all new. This is all
Bobby.
Called Bobby. What is this? Mr. Bobito. What?
I love that. That's like my future. Like that's what I want. That's what I want.
This is an episode where Rob's he's kind of a mystery. You know, he's kind of like
we're unraveling.
A little bit of a mystery. I'm in Arizona, but I didn't know this Strong Island connection. I didn't know he had that New York connection.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna dig into that.
And Michael, you said you didn't want to go so Italian on this show. Like,
yeah, I know.
Inevitably, look at us.
All right, go. We found one. All right. Moving along. All right, so that's good. Everybody's doing good. We're here. We got a new segment, and all of our listeners are going to be disappointed. Smash or Pass will not be heard this week. We're going to move away from Smash or Pass. Maybe it's next episode. Maybe next 2 episodes.
I'm disappointed. Actually,
those are big shoes to fill from the last one because we're getting a lot of comments on that last meal. But this week called Top 5. So this is our new segment, Top 5. This was tight on this was
sure.
We did a week here. Usually I have 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks to the next one. So cut in song. Go. All right. My bad. Man, that sounded great. All right. So this is Top 5. All right. This week's Top 5. Rob, let's get that graphic up. That'll help me out if you don't mind. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. These are date night cuisines, date night meals. Top 5. We polled our listeners. Okay. Don't ask how many, but we polled them. Don't ask for numbers. We polled them. These are the top 5 date night cuisine. Right off the top, tell them, what do you think? Like, what are you thinking here? What going on a date night?
It's tough because it's 5, and I would say number 5, or are we doing like Family Feud? And I'm trying to guess number 1.
No, you guess. Just throw one out there. Like we'll go through 5 to 1, but I'm just saying off the top of your head, what do you think? They are ranked. I will tell you that. So 5, like 1 is the best. 5 is 5. It's on the cusp.
I think 5, maybe a pizza night, or is this more of the cuisine, or is it the Italian or Italian?
Yeah, so it could be cuisine, it could be situation, it could be really anything, but it's mainly like going on a date night. What's the best cuisine? What's the best situation you put yourself in? Where do you go? Where do you not go? I kind
of like the going just for cocktails and like small plates as a favorite. I like to keep it light on the food so you don't feel like bloated on your date night.
Man, I'll tell you what, we should do a Family Feud type thing there, but I don't want to throw. Rob,
show us number 5.
Rob, go ahead and show us. Flip number 4, please. All right, so number 5. Let's get to number 5. Cuban. All right. I think Italian was probably the first, like what everybody's going to think, but a date night. Italian, and I'll speak to this because where this is an Italian podcast. A little too heavy, I think, on date night. Like you go, it's just like you want to. So Italian, surprisingly didn't make the list here. So number 5, Cuban. All right, number 4, Rob. Let's do number 4. Tony, we're right. Tapas.
Love that. Little wine, little Spanish small plates. Oh, that is a date night. That is fun.
Be ready to walk out of there with a $350 bill, but hey, they're tiny. They're tiny plates, so they're more expensive. I don't get that, but tapas is number 4. Number 3, Rob, what do we got? Dessert. That's a move. Okay, all you young lads, young females, looking at this list, when it's your time to choose date night, dessert and coffee is the move. Go to like a diner. You go to. That's the.
I think that's a safe for a first date. Like, it's not like, hey, we're not going out late necessarily. Probably could be any time of day, really. Mm-hmm. That's a good date night for a first date night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sometimes better not to just throw down, just like go on a date and just start throwing down the booze. Like it's probably you're going to get a real taste of what that person's like. But coffee and pie, I think that's a good entry point.
Do you know what this reminded me of? Maybe about a month ago, we were coming up to your house to hang out, and you were like, "What do you like on your pie?" And my answers immediately were like, "I don't know, like the kids like everything, like fruit, like apple pie, whatever." I named off a few peach. I don't know what I named off, and then I was like, "They're not so into like chocolate one. I don't know." And then you were like, "Dude, we're having pizza." I was like, I'm such an idiot. Sometimes it takes stuff too literally.
Well, maybe I was trying to be too Italian there. Like, oh,
what you want on your pie? I don't even talk like that, but I love it. I love it. I should have known.
Yeah, and you were like, oh, well, they like apple, and one of them likes pudding pie, and the other.
My answer was so. What a dork!
It went so dad. You went right into dad mode. That's exactly what it was.
Completely.
Which is funny. All right, number 2. So dessert. So yeah, think about that. Like coffee and pie. Maybe it's not a big heavy meal. Tapas, dessert. So I think these are going later. Let's look at number 2. Takeout and chill. Maybe you don't have to go anywhere. Which I think it's that's a good number 2. You're in. This means that you can have a few drinks. You don't drop $50 on an Uber.
I love this one.
You don't get a Dewey. You're in. It's PJs. That's why I think it's up at number 2. I agree. So far, this list, even though our listeners came up with, I agree with everything on here. Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I keep interrupting. I never think I go on many dates. Like we just don't get out. You got kids, and it's just like you don't. Yeah. We do this, or I cook and chill, but like take out and chill. That's the favorite. And I don't consider it a date. I'm going to start considering it a date now because it's on number 2 on the polled list.
Here's the other nice thing about date night and chill is that everything shows up prepared. You have about 16 different styrofoam cartons. And what you do is you eat and eat and eat. And then you just like collapse it all together and throw it away and rub your belly. And like, it's just this absolute, just no work. You just deliver into the mouth, throw it away. And
do you eat out of the cartons, or do you like? I'm just a dork. I'll take the carton and I'll put it into it. Like, oh, here, put it in this nicer.
You have to. I do the same thing. I can't eat out of the carton. That is I've done it before, but I always worry about like the styrofoam. I'm worried about hitting the fork and putting a hole in it, and then grease leaks, and then it's a whole thing. I put it in another bowl.
Okay, good.
I grew up with a kid, and this is like in high school, and I went over his house, and I've never seen this move before, but I remember it was Burger King, and my man went and got a plate and put the burger and the fries and the ketchup on his plate. And it was like he enjoyed it so much more than sitting there and just like it just was like he presented it. It was just a simple little move. Just put it on a plate. Like if you could it's like you're eating it out of thing and you're dipping and you're reaching into the bag and everything like that. But anyway. Yeah,
Was this Robbio?
I don't think Rob and I knew each other. Maybe we knew each other.
No.
Oh, you're
Robbio from high school.
No. All right. Number 1. All right. This is exciting. This one here. Now, It's close. It was close between takeout and chill. And number one. Go ahead, Rob. Let's give it number one. Bowling alley burgers. Now, there's an asterisk here, and I had to be very clear. I'm not talking about corporate bowling alleys. I'm not talking about the Bolero horse or these. I'm talking about middle of nowhere. Couple degenerates at the bar, that bowling sound in the background, but they have the best burger. Like somehow this guy's throwing down smash burgers. Like at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
And then the other asterisk here is the plastic pitcher of beer.
Always.
Oh, ice cold.
Man, we took the kids bowling for it was for Vinny's, but it was like bowling arcade and whatever. It was super fun. Laser tag. But having a beer at the bowling alley was really fun. It's been a long time for me, and it was so cold, and it was really good.
It's like drinking at the roller skating rink. Like it goes to your roots, man.
I want to do that right now. Roller skating rink is so fun.
I had 2 roller skating rinks where I grew up. There was Monview, and then there was Swaney's. All right, Monview was in Greene County. If anybody from Greene County is listening. And Swaney's was in Fairchance, which is Fayette County, also known as Fayette Nom to the Pennsylvania State Police. I was in Swaney's one time for a birthday party. This is it's a roller rink. If you go to a roller rink, I've never been to like a roller rink where it's primarily adults. Like it's usually the mixture is 50-50, like more kids, and it's a kids environment. Swaney's in Fairchance. All right. Go in there, condom machine on the wall. At a roller rink.
I mean,
you mean what?
Promoting the safes. Right? You want a bunch of babies running around in the rolling or the roller rink?
I agree with the prophylactics, but I don't think that's the place. I think we can strategically put them other places, but somebody at that roller rink thought, like, things don't happen like that unless there's a problem. It's like you put a sign up because there was a problem. That meant that there was too much unprotected sex going on at Swaney's. Not outside of Swaney's, but at Swaney's. Somewhere. Like, where are you going in a roller rink to do that?
Roller skates, you can roll into the bathrooms at the roller rink, right? With the roller skates on? And pee while you're, like, on wheels?
I never thought about that, but yeah, nobody...
I think you can, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think there's no sign. It's not like, remove your shoes before you go into the bathroom kind of thing. Or like you're wheeling right in there.
And imagine that, and there's the condom machine, like you said. So they think people are hooking up there on roller skates in the bathroom.
That's the only place you can at a roller rink is the bathroom. So maybe that's what was going on. Maybe it should have been at Swaney's more. Now that I think about it. What the hell was I doing at Monview? All right, that's top 5. Libation Station. I do know we have tunes for Libation. I skipped it. I was supposed to do Libation Station first. My mouth is watering. Rob, Libation Station, play us in.
I'll call it Libation Station. We're shining light on darkness, yeah, with our fermentation. We found a relation, so I'll see you here. We'll drink our share of good times mixed with elevation at Libation Station.
All right. So one thing that I have learned in watching these podcasts over and over and over again from editing, our music is too long. So we're going to look at editing that.
I love it. Do you have it in your head?
Yeah, I have that. I was watching it the other day, and my son was like, "Oh, Dad, your podcast, the we got the flavors that make you dance." It's now becoming and we own it. We own the rights to that.
That's pretty sick.
All right, Libation Station. I'm gonna take first because I think Tony's gonna take us down another lane here. With what you pulled off last episode. I mean, he's stepping into it again. I'm going simple But there's a little bit of nostalgia here. There's a little bit of personal. This is a little special. We're doing. This is my dad's limoncello that he.
Oh, nice.
He writes limoncello. He just kind of hand writes it on there. So we just got limoncello and just ice.
What is limoncello?
Rob, that's
never heard of it.
I'm going to send you a bottle, Rob. I don't know if I have some, but I'm going to send you a bottle down because it is Everclear. So Rob, it is lemon peels, sugar, Everclear, and water. Is that right, Tone?
Yep. How many days your dad do?
All right. So yeah, then you soak it for what? 4 weeks. Lemon peels soak for 4 weeks, and then you pour the water, and that's what you do. So you do like a sugar water in. We'll go through the whole thing. I'm going to send you a bottle, Rob, but it is
sounds great.
Number one, it is strong, but it's like this pure lemon with sweet. It's you have to be careful with it though, because like I said, you're putting down 189. It's not easy on you. So here we go. This is to WV. Cheers. That's a good batch. He watered this one down a little bit though.
Got to get your dad on here. He's making cocktails at home.
Your batch was really nice.
My batch get your head humping. All right, Tone, what do you got?
I love your glass of choice for that. It's super cute. Love it.
So a little bit more history here. My grandfather always to drink out of glasses like this. He'd drink wine out of these glasses.
Love that so much.
That's a move. Like, you can forget. Like, you wouldn't see my grandfather with one of these. Like this here. No. He'd drink his wine out of he would drink out of this. It definitely wasn't ice in it either. So that's the other.
I love that. That's like the house wine glass to use. Like if I'm drinking something that's like, hey, this is a little special. I want it in I'm a glass lover. I love certain glasses for certain, and that's important to me. But
I honestly enjoy wine out of this better. But if I'm drinking like a homemade, if I'm drinking the homemade red. Which maybe we'll bring out next week. We have a little bit of that back here. I don't make it. Dad makes that. I put it in this because I remember them sitting around drinking it. So it's like a little nostalgia thing.
Your dad's super cool, dude. I love that. Wait, where was the piano music for the limoncello? All right. So I was contemplating what I was going to do today, and couldn't think of a name for a drink. I had a few things in mind that I wanted to do. A few drinks I make at the house normally. This one's kind of in that lane. It's a little different, but I think it works for a Monday night food cast here. So I'll give you the ingredients. We'll mix it up, and then we'll talk about it. So we'll start with usually when you make a cocktail, start with like the least expensive item, because if you screw up, what if you started with your main expensive thing? And it's kind of so
that's smart. You don't want to waste the good stuff.
Just a little tidbit.
Nice little tip.
All right.
Little tip.
So this is kind of it's a simple cocktail. You can serve it up, so like you shake it and pour it. No ice, but with chilled glass. But my glass is no longer very chilled. It's a little bit chilled, so I'm not going to serve it in the coupe. It's a little bit.
Give me that. I didn't understand what that meant. What do you mean up?
Oh, up. So like serving no ice. You're mixing it with ice. Either you're stirring it. It's a stirred cocktail. This is a shaken cocktail of lemon juice in there. Usually with citrus, you're gonna shake it for the most part. So serving it up is you shake it with ice, and then you pour it into something without ice. So that's just like if you want something neat. If you order at a bar, you order something neat. They're just gonna pour it neat at room temp, bottle temp. If you want to serve it, if you want something straight, like if someone's like, hey, straight up, it's shaken with ice and then poured.
What is with with ice, shaken with ice then? If it's up without ice,
then on rocks. So we're gonna serve it on a rock today because I want a real chilled coupe. If I'm gonna do that, that's a Nick and Nora glass. Love this. Serving Manhattans in that. It's such a cute
I always wondered what that was called. So that
Nick and Nora. Yep.
So learning things on this. This is what I liked.
I'm no Matt Gray with knowledge, but I got a little bit. Shout out Matt. Love you, man. All right, so we got we're starting out with 3/4 ounce of lemon juice.
3/4 ounce of lemon juice.
You always want to use fresh juice, unless you could also make like a super juice. That's a cool thing. We should talk about that on an episode. We're not going to tonight.
And we're going to post this on our recipe book coming later this year. We need more recipes, but we're going to post this. So don't worry about writing this down. It'll all be posted.
I'm adding
you might have to buy the book for $15.99.
Yeah, oh!
But yeah, we'll see. No free rides here. There's no free rides here. But go ahead. 3/4 ounces of lemon.
3/4 ounce lemon juice. I put a 1/4 ounce of honey syrup. So it's just raw honey, just like you're making a simple syrup. You can do 1-to-1. You can do 2-to-1 ratio. That's 1-to-1 honey. Honey and water, and you get the water just to. You could heat it up. You don't have to boil it. Don't boil it, but honey and water, or sugar and water to make simple syrup, or a variety of syrups. All right, so 1-to-1 in this one. So it's 1/4 ounce of that. Then we've got. This is on here tight. So this is a Cochi Americano. This is it's like a fortified wine. This is Italian, kind of like a vermouth in a way. So we're gonna do 3/4 ounce of Cochi Americano.
I don't know where. Honestly, you pull things from that bar that I have never seen before. Like, are you traveling? Are you traveling to Italy to pick these things? Like, where do you get these? You can get these in the store. Really?
For sure. We're doing 3/4 ounce of mezcal. We're using La Luna just because, honestly, I picked this bottle because I think I might have 3/4 of an ounce left. I just wanted to finish the bottle. But this is like, I'd sip on this. This is a La Luna Manso Sahuejo is the variety. So mezcal, you guys know mezcal.
Mezcal's a lighter, is that like a lighter form of tequila?
No, so tequila is a type of mezcal. Okay. Mezcal is a wider range. So like mezcal is where tequila use 100% blue agave. Just that's the only agave you use to make tequila. Mezcal, all the variety of agave. So you can use any variety. This is ensemble, I believe.
What's considered more of a? I'm curious about this though. Is mezcal usually? I guess it really doesn't. I guess the question is like, which one trends more expensive? Is the mezcal usually, or is it
mezcal? Actually, yeah, mezcal is pretty expensive. So it's like small producers, and it's like really crafty. Like they cook the agave differently. Like tequila, they use like traditionally like a horno, like a brick oven. The mezcals, they cook it in a pib, like underground. They smoke under there. So it's like sometimes you have a smoky taste. Not all mezcal tastes smoky, but classically you would think of that. So it works really well in this drink because this drink, we have 3/4 ounce of Suze. This is a French liqueur. It's a beautiful label. I love it. Old school looking label. So this is a
liqueur.
Yep. It's a floral. It's considered a gentian liqueur, which is like just the style of it. All right, so kind of in the lane of Campari, to be honest, but this is French. It doesn't taste like Campari, but same style of thing. Campari's Italian, this one's French. So 3/4 ounce of that.
Let me ask you a quick question. Is this did you just come up with this, or is this a play off of something, or what?
Yeah, it's really similar, to be honest, to like a white Negroni. You can make a white Negroni with, I'm using mezcal. You can do a white Negroni with gin if you want to keep it in that. But you would use Suze a lot of times in a white Negroni. You could use Blanc Vermouth. You can use dry Vermouth. You can use Cochi Americano, Lillet Blanc. That's really similar to Cochi. So, and I just added a couple dashes of orange bitters. I should have done that first, actually. But, all right. We got a shaker tin.
A lot of complexity here.
Nah, this is totally doable. I chose this because I was like, it's interesting, it's fun, but you can find this. You think you can find that? All right. I don't have much of a bar here. I have my cooler on my office chair down here. That's my office. Secret. That's where I'm going. Down to my little cooler.
You went down to the cellar. I thought you went down to the cellar.
I ain't lying. All right.
You gotta start doing that where you like
Step down. How red is my face now? What's up?
That is.
All right, you want to shake that? That's a hard shake. You want to do that for like 10, 15 seconds. We've got just a guy with a big ice cube.
Is that glass frosted or is that just room temp?
Yeah, it was, and I kept my big old rock in there. See the size of this thing? That's nice.
Beautiful. You always have. I'm gonna tell you what. You always have the nicest cubes.
It's important.
When I come over there, and Rob, if you ever have the pleasure of eating at Tony's house, we have to get you out here, maybe for an in-person. We got to look at a little budget here. We got to get a flight budget. But I'm telling you what, my man, when he mixes you a drink, he mixes you a drink. There's no messing around. It is clear ice cubes. Oh, he starts pulling bottles from here, and just like he's doing now.
From the office chair. All right. Here we go. So this one, so you caught that it was there was honey syrup in there. The Suze kind of makes it look yellow, kind of like urine.
Whoa!
Look at that drink.
It's a really pretty color. It does.
What's that garnished with?
It's just a lemon. I expressed the oils. We got a lemon on there just for scent.
Lemon peel or lemon slice? What do you got there? Like what? There you go. Okay, now I can see it.
Little trapezoid, lemon trapezoid.
But give us how's the mouthfeel on that?
So,
give us a.
It's so good. This is so interesting. So like the honey syrup adds enough sweetness. The Coke Americano's kind of bitter, but it's got some sweetness. Sue's kind of the same thing. Mezcal's got the little bit of smokiness to it. It's really balanced. So this is, again, it's a Monday podcast. The date we leave on our vacation tomorrow. So this with the honey syrup and the Sue's, and it kind of looks like, I call it the don't be pissed. And it's delicious. That's all she wrote. Don't be pissed.
Don't be EE with the honey. I like it. It's in. Enter that in. All right, let's close out Libation Station. Tony, thank you very much. Don't be pissed.
I'll call it Libation Station. We're shining light on darkness, yeah, with our fermentation. We found a relation, so I'll see you here. We'll drink our share of good times mixed with elevation at Libation Station.
Oh, I mean,
who does that artist sound a lot like? Is there a certain... It's like Alan Jackson.
Every other country star that I've ever heard. That's every country song that I've ever heard.
Oh, you're ignorant.
We have Western Pennsylvania, we have Tony Borello, and we have Bobby he's Bobby from Strong Island. See you, boys. All right. Our new segment. This is a new segment. I think this is going to be a recurring segment. Rob, I think we could put the graphic up on this one. We could put the first one up. This is your loaf bigger than Joe Rogan? Is your loaf bigger than Joe Rogan? So we're going to get the graphic up there. This is what we have here. Our graphics team. All right, Tom? You okay? Our graphics team... Burning the midnight oil. Like I said, we had a quick turnaround on this one. 1 week, we had to really, really get the graphics team, paying them overtime to get this up. What we have is Joe Rogan. And our question today is your loaf bigger than Joe Rogan? Today's contestant is Lisho's Bakery. Let me give you a little information on Lisho's Bakery. It's founded in January 1994 by James Lisho. I think that's right. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm saying that wrong, let me know. After working the bakery business for 14 years, James Lisho followed his dreams of owning a bakery with the help of his wife, who was expecting their first child. His mother, brother, and grandmother Lisho's Bakery Grandmother's Lisho's Bakery opened its doors in February 1994. Lisho's original store is located in Black Horse Pike, New Jersey. That's right down the road from Rob, I think, from where he grew up, Sicklerville, New Jersey, in what now has become Lisho's Bakery and Deli of Cross Keys. Lisho's original customers still remember his grandmother, who was 84 at the time, sweeping the floor and chatting with all the customers. Since that time, his grandmother and mother have passed. There's another page here. On leaving him a strong work ethic, along with many great memories. Lisho's Bakeries is still a family-run business and still strives every day for the same quality, consistency, and enthusiasm that was used to bake the very first loaf of bread. Good luck, Lisho's Bakery. Now, going up against Joe Rogan today, we all know Joe. We know Joe. He does the jujitsu, he does the lifting, he does the kettlebells. So this is going to be a tough one.
Lisho, his thighs.
I can't.
Oh my God!
I barely when I uploaded this to Canva. Canva said, "Too much thigh. Upload new file." So anyway, Lisho's is coming strong. They're coming with the 5-foot loaf. So, Tony, what do you think? What do you think? Does who wins in this one? Is it
the little ruler, dude?
It's to scale. It's to scale, by the way. So what do you think?
Well, you just told me it's 5 foot, so it's not bigger than Joe Rogan.
Well, you don't know how big Joe Rogan is.
Oh, he's not 5 inches, 5.5 inches, 5.5 feet. Is that what that is?
I don't know. You tell me.
The ruler's just for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Rogan's to scale, but the ruler's just.
Oh, that's confusing. Okay.
So who wins here, Joe Rogan or the 5?
No, I think Joe's got.
Rob, go
ahead.
Shows. Let us know our winner here.
Oh, yeah, nice.
You can't knock down Joe, buddy. He's
Boom.
The winner. We're looking at 66 inches. That's an estimate because I don't know if we really know. There's a couple sources on this, but
is that the Biggie crown?
Go get him, Joe. He's the winner, and that's what do we call that? What was the name of that little bit we did there? Is your loaf bigger than Joe Rogan? Thank you, Rob. All right, you can take that down. Let's move on to listener calls.
I don't know why it's so funny to me. Jesus Christ.
He won that one. That was good. I mean, I don't know about next week, though. I'm sure we're going to have another contestant. But Joe's 1-0. All right. Now, next, listener calls. Not Joe, Rob. Yeah. That's Rob. That was Joe. All right. Okay, go ahead, Rob. Who do we got first?
We got, looks like Tommy.
Boys, Tommy from Freehold, New Jersey. I have a quick question, but a very important one up here in Jersey. Stromboli or Calzone? Which is king? I will hang up now. Keep banging.
I love how he ended it. That's a good question.
That's it. This when I heard this, I was like, man, Tommy has a point here. Tommy has a point because, first of all, Tone, do you want to? I have a little bit of literature here. I looked it up, did a little research. Can you talk about the difference between the Stromboli and a Calzone?
Yeah. I mean, from what I do know, I'm not. I know some things, but the Calzone is. I mean, that's Italian. That's like a Naples thing. I think the way they started it by to have a to-go pizza. From what I understand, back in the way back, I don't know what year, but pizza's been around forever. Calzones, that's what they did it for. And Stromboli is an American version of that, basically. The shape's a little different, right? It's rolled.
Yeah, you were right about that. Actually, like I said, I did a little research here. Calzone is Naples. So you were right about that.
Yeah.
You did say that, right?
Yeah.
All right. The only real difference, at first I thought the difference was the filling, but it's like the way the Stromboli, it looks like that it's folded on both ends. Like a Stromboli is actually folded on both ends, and the Calzone is almost like the half moon.
Yeah. Calzone's kind of like because you have the round pizza. So yeah, the half moon exactly. It's like a huge empanada Italian version. Stromboli's rolled then, basically.
Yeah. And then also Stromboli, you'd find red sauce. Like they don't do red sauce in a calzone.
Yo, opposite. Opposite. Calzones is basically a pizza. And they focus on, you got sauce, cheese, and maybe some meat. Stromboli, we can look this up. Stromboli, I think more commonly, leaves the red sauce out and you dip it.
I think it's the other way. I think calzones tend to be individually sized and frequently served with marinara for dipping. So I think the calzone is.
Who's your source?
This is.
I'm questioning yours, even though you obviously have this pulled up.
This is Stromboli versus calzone.com. You can go visit them. No, that I think you got it switched up there, Tone. I think the calzone is generally the ricotta and the sausage, and then you dip, and then the Stromboli you put, and then there's like ham but we'll keep it up in the air.
Yeah, Stromboli, more meats and cheese, maybe some vegetables of sorts, and dipped. I'm sticking to my source.
Okay, so we're calling fake news on the Stromboli and calzone
the
research.
website.
You're calling fake news on this one.
Well, it's like what Tony was saying. It's like a portable pizza, right? Like it's like if you took a pizza and you folded it in half, and
that's right.
So there would be sauce, meat, cheese, and I've had a couple of different calzones that have gone both ways. So I think it just depends where you're getting the calzone, right?
The
thank you,
Stromboli origins are traced back. I know you guys don't believe this research here, but I'll just one last point. Origins can be traced back to Philadelphia.
So
yeah,
the
Stromboli.
For the Stromboli, Naples. You had Naples on the calzone one. So now we get down to it. Who's king in this little battle? Tony, you go first. We'll go to Rob, and then I'll bring up the rear here.
My I think both awesome. Like that's awesome. Who doesn't love that? But if you're talking about king,
you got to go Sophie's choice on this one.
My thought is the calzone is king because it's first and it's the daddy, while the Stromboli is an extension of that made in America. Not wrong. I think it's. I mean, sure. I was thinking more Prince, but I mean.
Okay, so let's get this straight. Calzone is the daddy, and calzone is the. Okay, got it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think
that wraps it up good. All right, so let's do this. Let's do last meal. If you have to choose, the same thing with the cereal. You have to choose one as your last meal. Which one do you take?
While watching Blippi?
While watching Blippi, yeah.
Blippi or Caillou? Which one would you rather put yourself through? The worst. Those are the two worst, for my opinion. Caillou is awful. His parents are like drawn like they suck. The whole thing is that kid is such a brat. He's such a
listen. You now I know who you're talking about. We put Caillou. We got a Caillou DVD. This is what you call your like where you choose your own adventure here. If you want to fast forward through this little couple dads here, and we get off. You're a foodie listening here. You want to listen to a couple dads. Caillou whines all the time, and I didn't think
whiny.
My son loved Caillou, and my brother said the same thing. He goes, I don't like that Caillou. He's always whining. He's always starting trouble about something. You're always like, Caillou, it's okay. Caillou, it's okay. And I said, yeah, you know what? I think you're being a little hard on Caillou. 3 or 4 days after Caillou DVD goes in, or whatever you're watching it on, kids start whining just like Caillou.
Caillou on DVD for real? Like, did it have like director's cut, like extra content on there? Like,
we have an older Toyota, so they do a DVD in the back.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah.
Everything's DVD, and we had like a Caillou thing. You put it on for a couple hours. You want your kids to start whining and complaining? Go ahead, and pop a Caillou DVD in, and you'll get right there instantly.
Kid about to be a little bitch.
Oh, Caillou, man, he's always always complaining. I didn't think about it till my brother said it, and I was like, you're being hard. It's
Okay. Here, if I'm at home and I can sit and do the thing, Calzone, even though that was the to go, it's folded over. It's not as messy. It's super messy. Stromboli is less messy.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm at home, I'd choose the Calzone. If I'm really on the go or whatever, stay there. The Stromboli kind of makes more sense. I don't know. I think the king, though, is the Calzone, based off of it being the daddy versus the cuck. Like you said.
So I got you. So you're saying it is the king rather than it's. Yeah. I got you. So, but you would choose the Stromboli over. Rob, what do you think on this one? What?
Stromboli is just more. It's a little classier, right? Like there's like layers to it. You could like almost eat it like a sandwich, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
the Calzone is like an adult hot pocket, basically. So
that's interesting.
I go Stromboli just because it is easier to handle, and I don't know. I like something that you could just like hold in your hand. You know?
Yeah.
I would love to watch somebody just hold a Calzone in their hand and eat it, but. Yeah, I'm going Stromboli.
I think this is going to be unanimous because don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm smashing. If we're smashing, I mean, there's not many calzones or Strombolis that I will pass on. Like it basically, like you could. I mean, there's not many that I would turn down. It is a. I feel like with a calzone, it is messier. Like the ricotta is falling out of it.
Yeah,
I like that side of but. There's something about a Stromboli with a ham. The Strombolis that I have,
it's more meats. More meats.
There's more meats. It's heartier.
Yeah.
You know, there's more to. There's more to. It's when you really like. I don't know. I don't know if it's more protein or what. And then the side of sauce, you could dip the side of sauce, and you can get a side of sauce in anything. So
the Stromboli's the dip with the sauce, right? It's not necessarily sauce inside of it. That's what I'm saying, dog.
No,
you just said it.
I'm
right. It looks like Jen from Austin.
Jen from Austin.
Hey, Tony and Mike. I have something I really need to get off my chest.
Wow.
I guess it's kind of a food question. I don't know. So when I was like 10, my parents worked late and I had to stay with my aunt and uncle. My aunt would go to bed early, and my uncle would let me stay up watching horror movies with him. Sounds like a pretty cool uncle, except he'd sit on the floor in his underwear, eating mayonnaise straight out of the jar with a spoon. I don't know what to do with this memory. It lives in my brain rent-free. Thanks for letting me share, and sorry if this doesn't fit the show, but you all seem like you can help.
Jen, we got you.
Do we?
Yes, we're here for our listeners, Tone. Okay? Jen, you came to the right place. All right? We got you. You're with the bros. All right? So, I'll jump on this one first. I won't. I'll let Tony kind of simmer in that a little bit and come up with an answer. I've never tried mayonnaise with a spoon directly. I mean, I've never been able. I know that. I have done like the French fry with the steak frites. Like you have that. That's basically mayonnaise, right?
Yeah.
Is it mayonnaise or is it like an aioli or what? What is it? Is there
probably?
Like
but you could go straight mayo if you wanted. It's fine.
So, I mean, I can't get the picture out of my head though.
Yeah.
This poor girl. I mean, there's a little trauma there, so I don't know how to. But I mean, I could see it on I could see it on a fry where you're just like dipping and you're getting a little bit, you're dipping, you're getting a little bit, and you're dipping, and then it's a nice, it's just enough. But spoon feeding yourself in your underwear, I don't. I think therapy is really the answer here, Jen. I don't know what to tell you, but no, it's not normal. Stay away from your uncle if he's still around. And that's not normal. I'd say therapy is probably the only way out of this one. And I know that's not, I don't know where else. I don't know where else to go with that. Tony, a spoon, mayonnaise in the spoon, like straight up mayonnaise, like it's peanut butter, ever?
So the food part of it, I don't know what's the worst part of it. It's like, he's eating it with the spoon, and it's not like it's perfect. Like, he's got it on his lips, and he's in his underwear on the floor. Why is he on the floor?
He's watching horror movies.
I had a good friend growing up, super nice guy, such a nice family, and I'd go to his house, and his dad would get home from work. Super nice guy. This is see, do your thing. He'd get home from work. He had his like button up collar, should take his tie off, whatever, and he'd take his pants off, and he'd just be in his briefs, and he'd sit there in the living room with us, with his briefs, watch like Cops. I remember that was like a thing. This is like elementary school.
What you gonna do?
Nice guy. I didn't think like nothing weird was going on. He just was like, I'm done with work. I'm in my own house. I'm gonna take my pants off, and I'm gonna sit here in my briefs and watch Cops. But I always thought it was weird that like his bulge is, and I'm like a little guy. Like, this is my friend's dad's bulge.
Put some pants on.
Yeah,
like I think,
but it's his house. It's his house. Uncle though,
still, like,
and the little girl, she was 10. That's sick. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude to her. I don't want to make her feel worse than what it is. We want to help her out. I'm just saying that's messed up.
I think she came to the right place. I think it's like I think it's not normal. All right, you're never going to erase that memory. You just kind of let it wash over you. And I think it's therapy time for me. But I mean, have you ever seen like
mayo on its own? There's no texture to it. That's just sick.
I don't know, Rob. You can.
I love mayo, but
I mean, it pairs with something. But you're spooning it like Peter. Rob, you can go on this one.
What do you think I'm doing right after this? I think it would be even weirder if he was fully clothed eating mayonnaise from a spoon. Like, I don't think there's any way for it not to be weird. Like, he's in his underwear. That's very strange. Fully clothed and eating mayonnaise with a spoon.
Oh, he didn't want to get it on his pants. That makes sense.
Yeah, because that's what we want. We want to see mayonnaise dripping down, the side of this guy's thigh.
Down his like a little brown sugar. He probably has a little brown sugar trail going down by the belly button. The mayonnaise is hitting it.
I'll tell you this. I had a roommate growing up who used to he would watch hockey, and he was a grown man. We were 23, 24 years old, and he used to drink Coke in a can. He would put a straw in it, and then he would sit crisscross-legged on the floor about this close to his television, just like drinking soda and watching hockey. And I would come home, and he wouldn't move. He wouldn't say hello. He would just be right there. And I thought that was like serial killer stuff. I thought this guy was going to murder me in my sleep. So if he would have been eating mayonnaise, I probably would have moved out. But my point is that I think there's just you mentioned therapy. That's probably the best way to go about it. I mean,
I think you accept it. I think you approach him about it if he's still around, and you say, "What were you thinking? Like, did you still do that?" I mean, I don't know. This is I don't. There's no like.
It's the mayonnaise. I don't want to tell. That's so creepy. Yeah. If he was eating peanut butter out of a jar, I think there wouldn't be an issue. It'd be weird eating with pants on, but we've all been there.
Oh yeah,
it's
mayonnaise
is
love that.
And they're watching scary movies. I think it's all very weird.
I think you make an interesting point, Rob. But it's like if you see if you see somebody eating mayonnaise out of a jar, the next question is, why aren't you in your underwear watching a horror movie? Like it's almost like why do you have clothes on? Because you're too normal right now for what you're doing. Okay.
Imagine getting triggered anytime like you had a sandwich, there's mayo or something. You'd be like, you think of your uncle in the underwear. Anytime you're watching a horror movie, you're picturing your uncle on the floor in his underwear eating the mayo. Every time you think about uncles, this is in general. That sucks.
Maybe he had like a bad trip or something. Maybe he had like a munchie deal going on. It was like, maybe he was mixing like Cialis Maybe he was mixing
Oh,
maybe he's mixing his Cialis with his gummies.
That was
or
the
something.
aioli. He was like a little garlic, a little Cialis,
And he was just looking for anything to eat. Maybe that's what was going on. Like maybe he had a munchy thing going on, and then he mixed it with his Cialis or his Lipitor. Maybe it was a Lipitor and gummy reaction. All right, let's go to the next call. I think. Sorry, Jen, you came to the right place. We did the best we could, but I would say that happened, and there's always therapy, and you just kind of accept it. We've all had uncles who have been. God. I'm not even going to go further with that.
Let's go
to the next. Let's go deeper, man. Let's go too deep.
Move
go ahead,
to,
give me
move to another country, Jen.
How many calls do we have? 3 calls?
Rob? Yeah, this is our last one.
Last call, okay.
This is Peggy from Columbia, South Carolina. So I loved your second date playlist, but it is our 15th wedding anniversary on Friday. The kids are gone, and we are just staying in all night with a full bottle of cognac and a new silk nightie I picked up used on eBay. Can you put a playlist together for us to make the night one for the history books? Just an FYI. With dark liquor, my husband turns into an animal. Thanks.
Okay.
I mean,
I tell you,
we
the
just
depth
had a
of calls.
15-year last year. I know all about 15-year anniversary.
Did you have a bottle of cognac for the last?
No, I missed out.
Do you turn in? Let me ask you, Tony. You turn into an animal when the dark liquor comes out?
I mean,
all right. So we'll leave that there. So, what's your wife's name? Peggy? Wait a minute. I'm starting to put this together. Didn't you live in Colombia for a second? All right. So, a couple things jumped out at me. Cognac. All right. That's the first thing that jumped out at me. When you say Columbia, South Carolina, cognac surprises me there. Like that's the first thing. Like I'm like, it's the last. I'm not thinking cognac when I'm thinking Columbia, South Carolina. That's the first kind of thing. Used silk nightie on eBay. I mean that could be something. I don't know. I have questions there. Let's say we'll stick to the food, but I've listened to these calls. They like the second date playlist, so we created a playlist for Miss Peggy here. So Peggy, I don't think we'll post in a graphic here, but we at Bruh created the Freaky Friday playlist. That's what it's called, the Freaky Friday playlist. This is just for Peggy. Now, I had a whole thing of what was on the playlist, but I didn't write it. So Peggy, go listen, get on your Spotify, go and do the Freaky Friday playlist. It pops up. You got a nice set of songs there. That's what I suggest, Peggy. So yes, we got you. You've come to the right place, and I think that wraps it up. Tony, you have anything for Peggy on that?
I mean, I feel like you remember how like Bobby was mad at me, and like I kind of just I kind of laugh at like that's funny. I don't want to offend anyone else, that's why I'm keeping my mouth shut. But like, the eBay used like silky.
Maybe my man likes used lingerie. Could be a thing.
Does silk repel like is it? I think silk's like a fabric that.
It's a fine. We call it a finer fabric.
Yeah, like maybe it doesn't. It's like a used cotton one. I would be like, no, it soaks up all the stuffs. But like, you think that silk is maybe okay, I guess.
I mean, you think about this though. I mean, it's 15th wedding anniversary. Kids are gone. Nightie comes out. Cognac goes down. I don't think he's worried about if this is used or brand new. At this point.
He needs the Cialis from Uncle from the last caller.
I think he needs
with all that Cialis. Yak. Doesn't that? I mean, you asked about the animal with the dark liquor. I think it could. Yeah, maybe you get riled up, but like I think it could detract from the the skills. You have too much of that.
Doing that. What's that Lion King thing he does? Maybe he does that when the cognac comes out. I've done that a couple times when the Cavassier comes out. I do that Lion King thing. I do know this though, Peggy. If you hit that Friday, that Freaky Friday playlist, ooh, buddy, look out. So,
Jodeci on there.
I'll give you a couple. Like I had I'll pull up a couple. Let me give you a couple. I can pull it up really quickly. I don't have it. I didn't feel. Here we go. I didn't send Rob a graphic on this one. Let me give you a couple. Let me give you a couple cuts. Let me give you a couple cuts on here. All right. Let me give me some artists because I don't know if you're going to know these cuts, but D'Angelo, 112. You got a little D'Angelo Brown Sugar.
Oh, what?
Drew Hill.
Yo.
Me and Mrs. Jones by Billy Paul.
Yeah.
Cupid 112 is on there.
Yo.
Come and Talk to Me, Jodeci. Erykah Badu.
Yo, this yak is going to do just fine with this playlist. You're on point.
You know, we'll get Rob is going to get somewhere.
Tattoo artist. You're going to go to the tattoo store.
But I do want to tease. I do want to tease a new segment. So we had a segment that we were going to come out with, but I do want to I want to tease a new segment. And this segment is called, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want you to think about this. This is the new segment. You'll see this in episode 5. We're going to call this one Tiki, You Barely Know Me. I love that. I was telling you about that when I was at the spot there. I like those tequila, like those intricate tequila bottles, you know?
Yeah,
like
beautiful.
And that may lead into Tiki, You Barely Know Me. I think that we're going to get into that a little bit, but let's wrap this up because we want okay. Yeah, we're getting the red light. We're getting the red light here. All right, so Bruh Podcast, BRUHpodcast.com. Like, subscribe, all of your platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music. We got them all. So subscribe up. Let's see here. Tell a friend. Tell one friend. We're asking if you're listening, tell one friend. You're making this hard to get through. You're gonna have to cut your camera because I can't focus on it. All right, tell one friend. That's all we're asking. If you're talking to somebody, say, hey, I listen to these guys. Their podcast. If you like plus 1 hour podcasts, like you like these long format ones, we're the place you want to be. So we're gonna tell one friend about our 1 hour plus podcasts. Tony is what you can see behind me here. Swag is shipping. Broadpodcast.com. You can get your swag. Send us questions. If you are a former or current president, we don't need those. We don't need those voicemails. We're not a political podcast, but I encourage you to keep sending your voicemails. And last thing's Patreon. Subscribe, like. You're going to get some live features, and then anything else. And I think that's it. Let's play this out. Let's wrap this puppy up.
Got the flavors that make you dance. Spicy tales from France to Japan.